So hello YouTube, welcome back sa aking channel, ang channel na Marites ng Katakutan, na nandito na naman po tayo at banatan na natin ito.
First dashcam video was captured in Australia. Two men in a Mercedes are driving down the highway when through their rear dashcam a car is seen quickly approaching. It then swerves around the two guys before getting in front of them and slamming on the brakes, clearly trying to run them off the road. But what first could be written off as road rage soon takes a more serious and disturbing turn. The two men
Parang wala lang no? Yun pala, kakaiba.
notice the driver has an axe and is now waving it out his window and threatening them.
Oh, he's got an axe, dude. Like, what are you doing? Oh,
Patay.
keep distance, bro.
Ay Diyos ko, psychopath ata to. Meron pa siyang palakol. Loh, minto nga. Ay putik. Takot ang puta.
No. Bro, cool car. Yeah, calm down.
The sudden and unexpected encounter forces the two men to take a quick U-turn to lose the guy, but he continues to follow them. The situation is then taken
Buti na lang umaga to. Kung gabi siguro to ay Diyos ko, nakakatakot.
even further when the two use the next exit and approach a roundabout.
Ay sinusundan pa rin sila. Putik. Ay binubuo na nga sila.
Keep driving. Holy. Man, cool cops.
Ay addict to. Walang magawa sa buhay to. Gusto nang pakamatay nito.
Yeah. It's gonna ram us again, bro. No.
Yeah. Oh, bubunggo na
Keep
naman.
going. Just keep. Oh my god.
Anong trip nito?
Two times the Mercedes is rear-ended, the second of which causes the attacker to spin out, sending him off the road. This allowed the two guys to get away. They would then drive to the nearest police station where they would report what had just happened. When police arrived to the scene of the crash, the car was gone. However, a few hours later, they would find the vehicle on the road, and from there the driver was arrested.
Ang trip ito. Baka to? Carnapper o kaya?
This dashcam footage shows the armed robbery of a cab driver.
Loh.
The driver, Ralph Valletta, had just started his shift. This was his first ride of the day. He was stopped at a light, and the rider can be seen in the back slouched down. But abruptly, he sits up and demands Ralph give him everything he has.
Putik na. Nang hold up, ang puta.
This is a robbery, man. Hey, give me all your money, man.
Man,
I don't.
matanda.
Give me everything you got. Give me it now.
All right.
I need it now.
All right.
I can make this the easy way, or we can make this the hard way, man.
Everything I got, man.
Keep your hand where I can see him.
I just started.
What else you got?
I just
Let me see
started.
your wallet. Let me see your.
I don't have
Listen,
anything in my
we can
wallet.
do this the hard way, or
Buisi itong mga gantong klaseng tao Kawawa yung matanda.
we can do this the easy way, man. Let me see your wallet and let me see your phone. I need it all right now. If you don't want to die, man.
Okay.
Give it all to me now.
Okay.
Unbeknownst to the rider, a police cruiser was stopped at the same light directly behind them. At some point during the robbery, the light to the lane they were in had turned green, and seeing that they weren't moving, the officer put on his lights and got out to investigate.
Don't have anything in my wallet. I don't
Give me
carry
your
it.
wallet and your phone. I need your wallet and
No, please don't give me my phone. I need that for my. There's a cop behind us. There's a cop behind us.
Do. Kuha siya. Ay. Buti nilang pulis pala yun nasa likuran. Kung hindi, kawawa yung matanda. Simot lahat ng kita niya.
Lifesaver! Oh my god! Oh my god!
In April of 2021, a man named Mitch Kuhn was driving on the highway back from work when he saw this. A child that looks to be wearing a large jacket, or that's possibly wrapped in a blanket, begins walking out in the middle of the highway, just barely missing Mitch's truck.
Bata yun? Parang robot-robot lang.
Mitch was towing a trailer and felt that if he abruptly stopped, it would cause an accident. So instead, he opted to call the police, reporting an unattended child walking on the highway.
Takot.
Police assured Mitch that they'd send out patrol units immediately. An hour later, Mitch called again for a follow-up, as well as to offer the footage he had caught on his dashcam. but he was told that it wouldn't be necessary, as the child had been collected safely and was on its way home.
Okay.
However, strangely, police would later state that no child was found despite officers searching the area until 3:45 a.m. Additionally, they would claim that at no point did they tell Mitch that they had found the child. The next morning, multiple volunteers commenced a search of the area, but no child was ever found, and therefore the search eventually ended. At the time the footage was captured, there were no reports of a missing child in the
Nakakaluluwa na
area.
lang yun.
It remains unknown who exactly was captured in this video. Cam footage was captured in the streets of Taiwan. Right away, it's clear the video takes place in the midst of a storm where the winds are strong enough to throw around debris.
Nabuti.
At one point, debris
Katakot. Nasa biyahe siya while bumabagyo.
is even seen flying against the windshield. But little did the drivers know that an actual tornado was forming right behind them and quickly heading in their direction.
Ay, patay. Hala, yan yung nakakatakot. Tignan mo yung tornado. Inaanod na yung isang sasakyan.
The dashcam footage captures the exact moment the tornado went directly through them. It was even strong enough to lift vehicles off the ground, which can actually be seen with the white van that pulls out onto the
Yung
road.
isang sasakyan yung
The wheels of the
nadali.
vehicle leave the ground, and it begins to get full-on dragged by the tornado, seemingly disappearing. But once the tornado passes, it can be seen much further down the road, wedged in between two trees.
Grabe.
More concerning, however, is the person that gets thrown by the tornado on the right side of the road. Unfortunately, this woman would suffer major injuries and would be taken to the hospital. The storm would go on to produce further damage in the
Grabe, no? Nakakatakot.
form of 50 inches of rain that would cause multiple deadly landslides. It's taken in Russia. It shows the dashcam footage of a man driving down a desolate and long stretch of dirt road. Then, up ahead is a car parked in such a way so as to block traffic. Two men with baseball bats begin walking up to the driver, and that's when it becomes clear that this is
Putik. Ito yung delikado eh. Nangaharang sa daan. Hinarang pa talaga yung sasakyan. Tapos may baseball bat. Tapos parang duguan pa yung isa. Nako. Ano ang gagawin mo dyan?
a robbery, and the parked car was an intentional makeshift roadblock. The driver tries to escape, but the two men get in the way and do their best to prevent it.
Nalala. Ay, Diyos ko. Ito eh. Hindi pala duguan yung isa. Kulay lang talaga niya.
Fortunately, the driver had a window of opportunity and took advantage.
Good.
He slammed on the gas and was able to get away unscathed. He
Putik.
then drove around the roadblock and was free. It's unknown if the two men with baseball bats were ever caught.
Buti na lang medyo, hindi talaga totally nakaharang yung sasakyan nila. So, naka-alis din yung driver. Kung hindi na kuyari. Pero buti na lang baseball bat lang din yung bit-bit nila.
In late November of 2015, a large catastrophic bushfire broke out in South Australia.
Great.
This dashcam footage was captured by one of the fire trucks responding to the incident. Right from the start of the video, enormous smoke clouds are shown, depicting just how large the fire had gotten. As the trucks continue forward, visibility gradually worsens. It gets so bad to where the fire trucks are forced to stop. Then, in the distance, the fire itself can be seen, spreading towards them unnervingly fast.
Here it comes, the hitch coming. Slow down. We're going to go in a burnover very, very quickly now. Here it comes, here it comes, here it comes.
Ay, Diyos ko. Nakakatakot. Balik.
Burnover, Scotty.
Kala mo may utak yung apoy, no? Ang bilis kumalat.
Burnover, Scotty.
Ay, Diyos ko.
Jesus Christ.
Wala na, sabog.
A miscommunication between the two trucks resulted in a collision. The truck in the front was attempting to back up out of the fire, while the truck with the dashcam was entering what's known as a burnover. A burnover is a fire truck protection protocol where the truck stays in place and the crew deploys Velcro blankets to protect themselves from the heat. Water is sprayed outside of the vehicle to keep it from catching on fire, and in the inside, breathing masks are used by the crew. During this protocol, however, the crew from the truck in the front can be heard
Sana all may ganito. Ewan ko lang sa Pilipinas kung may ganong klase.
desperately explaining how they didn't have water for a burnover, or rather their truck's sprinkler system wasn't working properly. They couldn't stay in place and were forced to drive forward in the hopes of escaping the fire, which you can actually see in the video as the truck fades into the distance. Fortunately, this move would end up saving their lives. They would make it to the other side of the fire, and everyone inside the truck, as well as the one with the dash cam, would make it out with minimal injuries. It was captured way back in 2012. It takes place near an airport in Moscow, Russia.
Moscow,
The
Russia.
airport is right next to a highway, and on December 29th, this dashcam footage would capture the disturbing moments a plane missed the runway and crash-landed just on the right side of the highway.
Patay. Nakadali pa ng nakadali pa ng isang sasakyan. Yun yung mahirap eh. Kawawa.
It turns out the plane had mistakenly overshot the runway because of bad weather conditions, so when it landed it didn't have enough room to brake. This left it no choice but to go directly into the highway, causing plane seats and other debris to shoot towards passing vehicles, all of which can be clearly seen in the footage. At the time of the crash, the plane was only carrying crew members. No passengers were on board. But unfortunately, 5 of the 8 total crew members would lose their lives.
May namatay sa
The driver of the vehicle with the
aeroplano.
dash cam would make it out unharmed.